Hey, this is Gareth and Bruce. This is our first attempt at a podcast.
We just don't know where it's gonna go.
You got more of the gruff voice. I got more of the
Softer feminine voice.
screw you.
Hey.
I don't know, I felt a little snobby when we hit 10 episodes.
Okay, that's an interesting question.
The two of us can be Vin Diesel. Gareth can drive like him. And I can
You
look
can
like him.
Welcome to Spaghetti Junction. My name is Gareth,
My name is Bruce.
and we talk about things. We just don't know
where
they're
gonna
gonna
go.
go.
Hello and welcome from a very rainy Joburg
Cold.
to the Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Bruce.
My name's Gareth.
We talk about things.
We just don't
Know where they're gonna go. Oh,
I want to thank Brendan for that.
alrighty.
That is a Michael Jackson song. That is Smooth Criminal. Every non-word in Smooth. That's
What?
in 15.3 seconds. So all of that is what it sounds like without words.
Yes. Songwriting of note. Eh?
Wacko Jacko. I laughed when I first listened to it.
It's like watching like a dance. I watched a dance sequence the other night, from Dirty Dancing, with Patrick Swayze and.
Okay, first of all, why are we doing that?
No, it was just a clip that came up on Instagram.
Yeah, sure it did. Like out of all the random ones, you found a clip from Dirty Dancing.
And it was all just no music and just like squeaky shoe sound effects and like little giggles. Yes, it was hilarious. I'm like, yes, see, some people have got more time on their hands than I know what to do
And
with.
you spend time watching that. That's
I know,
also another
Because
thing.
I've got more time on my hands and I don't know what to do with it at the moment.
Yeah. But there we go. Yeah, it just shows how funny things are without the context.
Yes.
And also, what I find interesting too is like movies and stuff. It's very so like I would take one scene of a movie, you know, which I can do on my system here,
Yes.
and then I would take out the music. So, for example, it's a it's a piece of movie that at that point is like a scary like
Yeah.
and you take out that and then you put in like I don't know some random cartoon character little song.
Yeah.
It takes the context out. It flips it. I love it.
I mean, any movie, it's 70% is the music. It's and what mood it creates and everything.
Especially musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is episode 70.
How crazy is that, eh?
It's so crazy, Bruce.
It is totally
It's cray,
crazy.
cray.
Cray, cray.
It's cray, bro. A little bit of a distortion there. I apologize.
Yeah, just easy tiger.
70 episodes. Although the ones that we filmed, which is from episode 50, to me it feels like it's taken so much longer. I just feel like tired. Like I'm exhausted. Like you've been climbing 51. 52. Oh, come on.
I think from my side, it's when I wait for the damn thing to render on my computer before I can send it to you, and then it takes almost an hour to send it over internet, and then freezes at 99%.
It takes an hour.
Last night it did an hour.
At 99%, and then it bombed.
And then it bombed.
I would have
Or
been
it
angry.
froze. And then it took 15 minutes and it was gone. Very annoying.
I mean, to render this, which is basically
Takes
taking
about an
everything
hour.
done.
Takes about an hour.
No, mine takes five and a half hours
Yes.
to
And
do
that-
everything.
Okay, yeah. So for me, because I have to, a little bit behind the scenes,
Yeah, there we go. It's exciting, isn't it?
because I have to then put all the pieces together and then render it down so it's a much smaller file,
Then send it to me.
and then send it to Gareth.
And then it comes to
and then
me,
he does all the,
and then
the
I
main
edit it.
editing. Yeah, you do all the proper editing.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, no, I do
Yeah.
actually.
And then I'll
But you do all the freaking background work.
and
So.
then I mix if there's any adjustments to the audio,
Audio?
I sort of just adjust that and then
Yes.
send it to Gareth as well.
And there we go. And the
And
next
that's-
morning I'll wake
and
up
the-
and it's done.
That is how the magic happens.
And then going up into YouTube, it takes a few minutes.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's there forever
It is, Bruce.
because the internet never forgets.
Well, no,
No, it doesn't.
it doesn't. Dude, I mean, we did this whole thing. I think it was our last episode. on the Houston thing. No, it wasn't.
2 episodes ago.
Okay, thank you. And then I was, like more things arise.
Yes.
And the Hillsong music band people, whatever they want to call it now, that they were going to be doing a tour in the States, and they have pulled out of that.
That's a smart move.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was probably wise.
Like, nah, mate, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, they were like, no, we just think it's time right now to, to pull back a bit. And there's also in there, it's not that funny.
I was just thinking of something really savage to say.
Are we allowed to do it now?
Probably. It's not that savage.
No. You do savage. It's not that savage. No, you was freaking banned from freaking Facebook. So I don't trust you. And then they have a whole bunch of university plant churches.
Yes.
And I can't remember the exact amount, but about a quarter, a sizable amount have now stopped, have now pulled out of the universities.
Wow.
Because of all this stuff going on.
It's talking about domino effect, eh?
But a positive on all of this, if anybody wants to go to it, in fact, I'll put a link on it. It's the Sunday service after basically everything which had happened. At their main branch, the main Hillsong Church branch, and it's there's a part there where the new pastors chat with everybody and say what's going on, and they actually make it they move away from all the negative and they say, okay, where are we going forward from this? And
Right.
it was actually very interesting, and I thought it was well handled.
Okay.
Which is what she said. No, kidding.
Yes.
I don't know
Can you
where that
worry
came
about what I'm going to say?
I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from.
I know exactly where it's
So there was a wall between the Hillsong stuff, and then my brain went somewhere else. I do apologize. End of the world, Bruce.
It's burning, man. Yeah, the flames are getting higher, and if you're not prepped...
Well, that's why I brought an end of the world. So you don't have to try and be clever. I was the clever
I
one.
thought it was quite a good segue, but, maybe
No,
that's just
I
me.
segued it.
You did.
Because the end of the world
Then I
is...
added to it.
You don't have to always add to something. Sometimes you just got to give credit to somebody else. And I'll take it this time.
Okay.
This is more your topic.
Yeah.
But I do want to bring in Armageddon before you start to talk about preppers.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about Armageddon.
Just the various religions, what they believe about Armageddon. But we can talk about the prep stuff, exactly what the hell I'm talking about, because I don't really know at this point. Well, I do, but you've got your finger on the pulse. This is more what you wanted to do. I mean, I'm in it.
Yeah.
There are times when we'll have episodes that we both like in, and there's when like somebody else will bring it in, and then we like it more. So
Yeah, it's kind of like one of us will take more of a lead than the other,
Yes.
kind of thing.
that's beautiful.
I know.
What a nice marriage.
Bromance. It's a give and take.
If you want to see a really good bromance, you must watch Scrubs. Scrubs series is so funny. It's old.
Scrubs was funny.
Scrubs is probably my favorite series. No, it's in my top 3. But my top laugh out loud series is so good. And it's between a Turk and JD.
Okay, I can't remember those characters.
Well, they're the main characters.
Is it Zach Braff?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Zach Braff wasn't very easy to work with on that show.
Who
That's
told
what
you
I
that,
heard.
Bruce? Who?
I don't know, just
Who exactly told you that?
keep my ear to the Hollywood grapevine, Apparently. But it was a funny show.
I love the
do remember.
generalization. No, that's what I heard.
The janitor dude was my favorite.
Oh, he's awesome.
He's
I think he is.
so bitter.
I think he is my favorite as well.
It's a legend.
So anyway, Scrubs is very funny. It's like each episode is maybe like 21 minutes, and it's just so well written.
was good.
It's basically around the hospital and the people and the students growing into their role as
young interns, basically.
young interns, then growing into being doctors and stuff. And my sister was saying that it's the most on point
Okay,
of any series she's watched.
nice,
So,
cool.
how do we get there?
I don't know.
Bromance.
Bromance. There we go.
Yes, bromance. So sorry. Back to you and your.
So we're basically going to have a bit of a chat today about people who feel quite an inclination to be prepared for different types of natural or man-made disasters, things that they feel might happen in the future, and they want to protect themselves, they want to protect their families. Some of them very logical, very sort of rational people. Gareth doesn't seem to think so.
No, something interesting.
Who think, this might be a good idea to have some stuff in place. Other people, yes, pretty fringe, crazy freaks who have got nothing better to do with their time than think that the zombie apocalypse is happening tomorrow, and they revolve their entire lives around that. So we're going to sort of cover the entire spectrum. There's me talking with my hands again. Smorgasbord. Nice.
How's that? That's my biggest word of the whole podcast
It's
episode.
a cool word to use. I love it.
Smorgasbord. So, this was like, more of like an interest thing, for me than it's not really with the preppers. The only reason why I brought it up is because, a lot of them believing that could be Armageddon.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them, but there are some that are feeling like end of the world.
Definitely.
Are we going to be ready and prepped for end of the world? So I just thought, hey, what do some people believe about Armageddon?
That would be interesting. That's something I didn't even think about. So please.
That's why we do this, Bruce.
I know.
And and like as you know, for our podcast, I like to think of the why, the how.
That's actually my thing, and Gareth's just being
facetious. Another word.
Correct. Yes, that's the second time you've used that today.
Oof.
First time on the podcast.
That's correct, Bruce.
On this episode.
Yes, Bruce.
It's been very facetious on a lot of other podcasts. But.
I'll smack the facetious out of you. Stop it. So, anyways, as you hear me click, 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 click. So, here's a few of the different religions, what they see as Armageddon. All right.
Cool.
So the doomsday beliefs of some ancient religions can still be felt in the modern secular society, as was the case with the conclusion of the Mayan calendar cycle. They felt that the world was going to end in 2012.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry
kind
for
of like
you.
egg on their faces. So I'm still getting up and I'm going to work, and it's the day after. So I guess things are. I guess everything's okay.
Yeah, you remember when it was like
Jeez.
when we were going to move from 1999 to 2000, the Y2K thing.
Yeah, I remember.
People are stupid. Okay.
Oh, it is the human race we're talking about.
It's true. Okay, so
Embarrassment.
the Shakers, which is one episode. Yeah, the head guy is called Pepper and the wife is called Salt. No, there is a bunch of people called the Shakers.
Okay.
Which we don't have to go into now, but there is.
Okay.
Look at it later.
All right. I will.
So they thought that the world would be over in 1792.
Well,
How do you feel about
guess
that
we've
one?
got news for them.
The Jehovah Witnesses, they said between 1940. I love how they give like a huge gap. It's not like a certain year.
No.
They say it's between 1914 and 1994. So they're pretty much like saying, well, the next 80 years. And they were still wrong.
And apparently only 144,000 people are going to survive.
I know. I don't know
I
how they're
love
going to
that.
live it through. Anyways, citing the conclusion, of this whole ancient Mayan calendar, certain theorists, they thought that the world was going to end on December the 21st, 2012. So now at least we are getting close to like a month and a day and a year. So that's some pretty impressive already on that.
Based on what I see, I think the world is ending just a little bit every day. Especially the Western world. Jeez, look. Flames are just creeping higher and higher. We are witnessing. I think we might actually be in Armageddon. It's just like little steps. It's like baby
We
steps.
do have a lot of things happening. I guess that's another story. Because right now we can't go into that right now. So here's a few. Christianity, which it's in the book of Revelation. Okay, it mentions Armageddon, which is the final battle on earth between the forces of God and Satan. The word Armageddon is thought to have come from the Hebrew word for Mount of Megiddo. Located in present-day Israel, Megiddo is an ancient strategically poisoned, wow, position. Maybe it's poisoned because it's Armageddon.
Oh, but poisoning is pretty strategic. Just saying.
Oh, you're funny. Anyways, strategically positioned city, and it basically was the site of a number of battles. So they believe, Christianity believes that Judgment Day will take place on Armageddon. So it's almost like they're seeing the day is Armageddon, one day.
Right.
It's
not a long drawn out process.
Armageddon happens, Jesus comes, and hopefully most are going to be going up with him. Islam, the end of the world is referred to as the hour, and it involves Jesus, interesting, returning to Damascus to slay an antichrist who has put the planet in peril. So that's interesting because
they're mentioning Jesus,
yeah,
as the one to come and. That's interesting.
To slay an antichrist, yeah, but they don't believe to the point that Jesus was the Son
of God who died
the Savior.
Right,
Exactly.
He's just almost like
yes,
one individual.
And they believe that Jesus will die a natural death, which will usher in a time of destruction that leads directly to the hour, which is Armageddon.
I see.
Judaism. There's no term for it, but there are references in the Hebrew Bible to events that could be compared with Armageddon, including the Day of the Lord, in which God causes death and destruction to people who deserve to be punished. That's quite brutal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a more extreme. Well, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And the war of Gog and Magog, which I actually brought up to. I won't really go into it a lot, but there was a supposed a prophetic guy here in this country who said that there was a prophecy in the Bible that Russia was going to win the war against Ukraine, and that as Christians we shouldn't pray against the war to end, that we shouldn't pray for peace, and that Ukraine will be, will be fine because you're going to be praying against a prophecy. Basically, he was saying, let Russia do what they're doing, don't stop them because it's a prophecy that Russia's going to. And unfortunately, people believe that it was. In Hinduism, there's a story of the god Vishnu coming back in the last cycle of time as a figure called Kulki or Kalki, who rides a white horse, carries a sword that looks like a comet, and destroys the forces of evil. Interesting enough, the white horse also comes from the Revelations,
yes, exactly,
with the Christian belief.
Correct.
Anyway, so that was just an interesting. Oh, and then one more. The Buddhist prophecies, the equivalent of Armageddon is Shambhala, I think, in which good triumphs over evil. However, the planet is restored rather than destroyed, so people can pursue enlightenment. Again, that's a Christian view as well. Not to the whole enlightenment thing, but it's a belief that the world will not be destroyed. It'll go back to what it originally was when it first was.
Okay.
So it's interesting, all these little intertwinings between a bunch of religions. Sorry, I know it is a bit longer, but I just found this very, very interesting when I looked up Armageddon. There's a lot of, not everybody obviously believes in what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But besides, the world is going to be in the poo-poo. Explosions or whatever else these preppers believe in.
Yeah. So, okay.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to bring to the table.
So, basically, a really cool definition of a prepper that I found is someone who has, you might laugh at this, someone who has the wisdom
Yeah.
and foresight to look at his or her current situations and to the future, and to prepare for possible events that might impact their life. These people build knowledge and skills, gather supplies, and join together in communities that work for the benefit of all. So that's one of the things that preppers do sort of advocate for is, a community.
Really?
Helping each other. Don't isolate yourself, because
Okay.
people are stronger together than they are apart, kind of thing. So
Okay. I did
So don't just
see
hug-
one or two who were just like, one of them was just like himself and I.
yeah.
It was just, but in general, yes, I've seen that too.
Yeah. So it's
Which is good, because otherwise they go out and they seem like these little cuckoo people.
exactly. But when humans are meant to be together, and we're so
That's beautiful.
we're better together than we are apart.
All I'm saying is give Peter a chance. all together.
Okay, John Lennon.
Thank you. You saw that. Appreciate it.
So basically, one of the terms within this whole prepping thing is what is called an SHTF situation, and
Which is?
that stands for shit
Shit
hits the fan. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what if you watch a lot of preppers on YouTube, that's the kind of thing that they're preparing for. So any sort of thing. So it could be a natural disaster. It could be something man-made, possibly a nuclear explosion, something like that, or like the electrical grid going down. Welcome to Tuesday in Joburg. Yeah, it's amazing how the electrical grid goes down in like a US city, and people for like an hour, and people panic.
I know they panic.
It's like this.
They lose their shit.
It's Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as they're concerned.
And here we're like, oh, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
We're okay. It's like whatever.
Yeah. So you could say like people in Joburg and like people who have put like solar systems on their houses and stuff, they're kind of they're understanding that they're preppers to a certain extent.
Yeah.
They've got gas to cook their food, they've got solar and stuff like
It's
that.
just sad. 'Cause it's not the end of the world. Yes, but yeah, they are.
And then people also believe that there could be this complete and utter breakdown of law and order, and the collapse of society as we know it. All morals go out the window. There's human beings just do whatever the hell and they can and revert back to pretty much animalistic ways of living.
Which I know it's not the same thing, but that was in the movie that we quite enjoyed.
There's so many. That's the thing.
No, the one where between like dusk until dawn, you could go out and go mayhem, and there was no law. There was no rules.
The purge.
The purge, yes.
Yeah.
But I guess that is what some areas might do, but over. I mean, like in those in those peaceful marches, and it takes like one or two people.
Correct.
And then like everyone just rushes shops and loses their shit and steals stuff, and it's like, I think it's a herd mentality.
Correct.
And I think with the preppers, I think they're trying to go against that.
Yeah, exactly. Because like you were saying, there's something that happens within humans, that mob mentality, where it's either just unadulterated violence and looting, or it's panic. And like, you can be on your own and be this completely rational, normal thinking person. But if you get caught up in that mob mentality, you can let that mob mentality take you over, and you become part of that, and it all falls apart. So that's why I'm saying that there are a lot of preppers that are very much on that sort of rational, forward thinking, like, let's just keep calm about this, let's not let our emotions control us, and see what we can sort out, because I can see that something's going to happen. Let's see how safe we can keep ourselves, and that kind of thing. So that's the sort of the prepping thing. If I get into the watching the prepping stuff, I like watching that, because like, wow, that's just practical stuff too.
For sure. Yes, exactly. It shows what we as humans can do if there is a necessity for it. And I think they see what may come as a necessity to prepare now instead of... I mean, I was watching one as well where they had a few hundred glass jars filled with, with like, fruits and like wheat stuff, and things that they worked out that they have a very long shelf life.
Correct.
That they can use. But I mean, it's even like little things which you could take from that, and just use it in your normal day.
Absolutely.
Like a normal one is like, okay, water, I think people cannot live more than 3 days without water.
The water's a big thing, yeah.
And one idea of like now it's pouring with rain is you have a water tanking outside.
Correct.
A water tank outside, and then it fills all the way up, and then you have your water.
Correct.
It's just little things like that I can understand. But when it becomes to become a bigger thing, and they're doing it now because they think there's going to be like,
Oh yeah, I know where you're going with this.
EMP.
Yes.
And it's like people, it's like, okay, the idea of prepping is okay, but what drives the person, that's my problem. What's driving them, and a lot of them are, to me, and you laughed at me, but a lot of them are just like, you're not living in the real world.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
Cookie for Cocoa Puffs.
There isn't going to be an EMP across the whole world.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We're not going to lose, like even here, we don't have power for certain times. But even how bad ESCOM is, I don't think the whole country is going to go down at once. Maybe.
No.
But in general, I really don't see it happening.
Yeah.
And we're not even a first world country.
Yeah.
And people are panicking. The whole of North America is just going to have an electric pulse. You know how much how powerful that EMP must be to take out not a block.
Yeah.
Not
a
whole country.
Yeah.
That's when I look at them as like, prepping makes sense, but the way you're doing it.
Yeah. And then when you start,
it's a mentality that's a bit.
I think when you start revolving your entire life,
yes,
around that, and it becomes just.
There was one woman who was doing it for 6 to 8 hours a day, was prepping.
Okay,
I was like, a day.
Okay, that's.
Imagine coming home to that, like 6 to 8 hours of jars and.
Yeah, I'm talking about going to do your month's groceries and maybe picking up an extra pack of rolls of toilet paper and maybe a bag or two extra of rice.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe having a small cupboard where you're kind of just stockpiling just a bit, just in case. Because basically what made me think a little bit more about it is that for anyone not in South Africa, last year, was it last year?
Yes, it was. It was last year.
So we had, it came out that it was actually an attempt to sort of bring down infrastructure in the country, where we had all these riots.
No, it's what I understood.
That's what I understood it as.
No, okay. From what I understood about it is that it was orchestrated by actual, I wouldn't say gangs, but groups that were there to basically more for the food and the theft, and that was what I understood it as. I didn't, because that sounds like a prepping thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that what you read it? Because
it was like the supporters of Jacob Zuma, because it
sounds a bit too well thought out.
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, I understood it as...
No, not an infrastructure trying to pull down the country.
Basically, bring down the governments and stuff. Because as I understood it, it was the people who were supporters of Jacob Zuma. They were upset that he had been arrested and stuff like that, and it was this whole thing.
Anyways, sorry, it's just that sounds way too
orchestrated,
too intelligent. No, really, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
so we had all these riots in KwaZulu-Natal. It was bad. It was
more theft than riots.
Yeah, but it was looting. It was all kinds of things and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and there were parts. A lot of infrastructure was put on hold, and a lot of trucks could not get up from Natal into Gauteng into Joburg.
And Natal is at the.
And it's basically
it's on the coast, basically.
Yeah. So one of our main ports is Durban, where a lot of our imports come from that are then shipped to the rest of the country, and so then because of these riots, people were very concerned up in Joburg.
I remember you were like, what happens if there's nothing?
Yeah, exactly.
I think your fear was more on the petrol side of things.
Yeah, because I'd went out and I thought, okay, it's probably a good idea to get some petrol, and then I see a line of cars outside my local petrol station.
You realize,
I was like, okay, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I found another petrol station quite quickly. Fine. But as I was filling up, a lot of cars started pulling in, and it was a bit of a panic.
That's the thing with the prepping, is that some people may panic.
Yeah.
And that's half the problem with
that panic buying when we went into lockdown.
The one which the world over, we're all the same, is toilet paper. Like, I think you can survive somewhere without toilet paper, but food is probably a little bit more important.
Yeah, food and water.
And maybe toilet paper.
You can wipe your ass some other way.
I know. Many ways. That's for another topic.
Yeah. So preppers also develop all kinds of different skills as well. How to do subsistence farming. Sorting out vegetable gardens or whatever. Preppers normally are the kind of people who go, I'm staying put. I'm not sort of going anywhere. I'm not trying to escape or anything. I'm going to have my house. I have my family here, and we're going to hunker down, and we're going to survive in our house and do whatever we can. Turn our gardens into a vegetable garden, and grow chickens and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some preppers do have what they call an escape, like a bug out plan, an escape plan, to get to a different location. Maybe they maybe in the suburbs, but they've got some land and a farm and stuff that they go, okay, cool, that's going to be, and most of their stuff is sort of situated there, and they go, okay, cool, if it hits the fan, we're going, kind of thing. And then they're completely off the grid. They can survive without electricity, all that kind of thing. So preppers basically mainly focus on food stockpiling, because they are very aware that shop shelves will empty within a couple of hours. I think we're on I think shops can survive for about 2 days without deliveries, but until they need to deliver again.
I think it's
about 2 or 3 days max.
2 or 3 days, yes.
And then
without any trucks or anything like that coming through.
And then there's a problem.
Yeah.
So because that's everything that people will do. Like you said, they're going to panic buy and stuff like that because they think flip. Right. And then also skills to defend themselves. So most preppers are armed in some way or another. Because
the ones which I was watching and looking at, they had guns throughout the house.
Yeah, it gets
like
a little
they were all
extreme.
ready. Like if something happened near the back door, they have a gun by the back door.
Yeah.
They have one in the garage. They have the one, and I think I don't think this is going to be generalizing too much, but I think a large portion of that would be Americans, just because based on their allowance of having so many guns.
Absolutely. I can understand though needing to defend. Okay, that's a little extreme, but if you have all these skills and farming and prepping all this food and whatever, it takes one and no means to defend it, you're screwed.
Because you've done all the hard work and someone else grabs it.
Exactly, and they'll put a bullet in you because they don't care. So yeah.
And I would imagine if it is the end of the world, you're not going to get arrested.
No, like we said, breakdown of society, breakdown of law and order.
It's also quite scary, though.
It is very scary because
it could get way worse than what it's supposed to do.
Because there are a lot of human beings that will go that route because they know that there are no consequences, and we've seen it in so many different, like apocalypse type movies or whatever.
Yeah.
I was watching. I don't know if you've seen it. You don't have Netflix at the moment, do you?
No.
Okay. There's a series called Black Summer.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a zombie apocalypse thing, but it's very intense.
Have you ever wondered where the first zombie came from? That bit someone else, that then they grew into zombies.
As in Patient Zero.
Like, where did this first person... And that's a whole other story.
Yeah, I know.
Carry on.
There's tons of movies that have done.
I know, it's just like, it's a great idea, but where was the original zombie?
Yeah.
Because they had to have someone out there.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So yeah, then there's also people they learn medical skills, and they stockpile medical supplies and all that, because that's obviously important, because hospitals overrun. You can't
I
go to your
would
local
be in
doctor.
deep doo-doo if, in fact, there'll be millions of people who are in deep doo-doo who are used to having medication. I have medication morning and night.
Chronic medication, yeah, exactly.
My mum has I think it's morning, midday, and night.
Yeah.
And
if
the stuff isn't there, you suffer.
Yeah, that's a very...
it's not just I have a headache. No, I need this medication for my way of life. And if it's gone, I mean, I remember when I was in Kenya, and I would have my medication sent up to via DHL, and there was one week where there was one time where it didn't come for 5 or 6 days, and I was out of one of the medications. I literally went into a cold turkey thing for 4 or 5 days. I didn't leave the couch, and that was just one medication for 4 or 5 days.
Scary stuff.
Thankfully, I'm not on that one anymore, but Yeah, if all the medication's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Total.
Yeah. So just quickly, so then on the other end of the sort of this whole spectrum is what you call survivalists. Now these guys are probably sometimes you hear that word survivalist, I think there's a little bit of a stigma because they sound to be a little bit more crazy.
But they aren't preppers though.
No, so
they don't
they've
really
got
link
so,
with preppers.
So they are, to a certain extent, yes, but they're more they're going to live off the land more than anyone else. So they're not really stockpilers.
No.
They've got serious hunting skills, snaring, fishing skills. They can live, like I said, live off the land, and they're pretty confident in their abilities that they can forage for food without having to stockpile, which is, and then they're a little bit more minimalist. Maybe they're a little bit more on the move.
Yeah.
And maybe more sort of an individual than a group of people. So so the preppers are more sort of maybe community based. But survivalists, you hear about these survivalist groups who just live out in the woods and shoot guns and think that the government's coming to get them and they're arming up,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so they have got a bit more of a Spartan mindset. They don't have to. They don't need much to survive.
Okay.
Their comfort is not a big thing for them.
Yeah.
Whereas it would be nice to at least have a roof over your head and a warm bed to sleep in, even during Armageddon.
Yes.
Sorry,
I'm just thinking of something that I want to add, but it's on the website, so I'm not being rude.
Cool. No problem. That many of these guys believe that the government is intrusive. It violates their rights to privacy, so they prefer to live off the grid.
Yes.
Where they, no one can find them, and they just, don't have any sort of digital footprint or whatever, and they just, no, that's the way I'm going to do it. So, anyway. Yeah. And then I did talk to you about this South African group.
I looked on the website, and first of all, to me, it has a racist undertone there, very high racist undertone.
Well, yeah.
It was from what I could read and see. Not what I read, and how they say it speaks about being Afrikaners. When I read that, I was like,
well, yeah, it is a white Afrikaner group.
Yeah, and that's all they will allow into their safe area. So therefore,
I think they said, yeah.
They said it's a whole Afrikaner based, and white people, the majority of Afrikaners are white people.
Yeah, because
so it was I looked at it slightly, then I just moved on because of that aspect.
Yeah, they are, they tend to believe that there is a race war coming, and a genocide of white people in South Africa. That's what they believe.
They have some very bizarre thinking.
So
bizarre thought, I think.
So they have an escape and evacuation plan. So it's not a fight. They don't want to fight. It's not aggressive. It's like, let's get the hell.
I'm pretty sure if you walk into the area and they don't like you, they've got guns.
Probably, but it's they want to. They just want to get out. So it's a bug out plan basically on quite a large scale.
They won't get out though. They were basically making their own area, from what I understood. A lot of the areas that they want to be in are very close to the Namibian border. So it is easy to get out of the country if they want to just cross into sort of Namibia. It's the closest sort of country that would allow them in. And then, so they've got everything in place with regards to off-grid communication, different ways of communicating with their members and stuff like that, sending out coordinates for, if something really does hit the fan. And they're like, right, we're going. We're out of here. Everything is all in place and that kind of thing. So, it's just an interesting group. I've looked into them a little bit more. But, are you going to join them? I've looked into them more. Nou,
ek is nou
Bruce de Klein.
Ek
is Bruce Klein.
Bruce de Klein.
Bruce de Klein.
Ek is nou deel van die Suid-Landers.
He's a language people, but that's how they talk. No, I think on that aspect, yes, it was very interesting and very how they were all on one level and how they all worked as one unit. That's where I stopped though, because
they basically but they are also looking to the future of the country, and they're going, this might not be.
Yeah, but from what I read about it, that's their viewpoints was very. My feeling is it's really not. That's not going to happen. I don't see that it's going to happen. I think it's a fear-based, and I think, unfortunately, the majority of people who think like that are white people.
Yeah, so we'll see. So that's got their that's what their plan is. So I thought that was an interesting sort of almost survivalist group, if you like, within our own borders. They're also fully legal, done within the constitution of the country, and civil defense laws, and also based on the Geneva Convention and all of that. They're allowed to do it, so just an interesting little sideline. So we are at the 40-minute mark.
Sucks to be you.
Do you have any?
Can I finish something?
You may, please.
No, I just want to know if you want to buy a bomb shelter, because I can offer you quite a few.
Awesome.
So this is I'm gonna have to put some advertising little dingly noise.
Yeah.
But I always say something, then I forget doing it, and I look like a loon because I haven't done it. So we'll see if I remember this one. So there's one called Bombnado. It's from $19,000.
Okay.
If you are on the lookout for a shelter to add to your existing home, then Bombnado is the perfect backyard bunker. Compromising of 4 separate parts, the shelter is designed to fit through a 7-foot high garage door and provides the ideal place to ride out in any storm.
Cool.
I thought it was really good.
Nice.
I was moved.
I liked your voiceover.
Thank you. There's another book. Let's go to a more expensive one. So now there's a Bombnado worldwide. Okay. A do-it-yourself bomb shelter. This is from $20,500. If you're looking for a bargain, what better option than to build your very own bomb shelter? American Safe Room provides the perfect solution by supplying all the critical components for your very own home-built safe room. Home-built safe room. No, because these are readily available.
I
by
know,
the way,
yeah, it's a big.
you can buy.
It's a big business.
Wow, this is nice. Okay, the Vivos, Indiana, in Indiana. This goes from $35,000. Several resale places are available in the 10,000 square foot complex. Each place costs $35,000 per person, which isn't overly expensive, considering the underground bolt hole is more like a comfort 4-star hotel than a Spartan military bunker. Actually, pretty nice.
Cool. Maybe you should sort of put some photos up. Would you be able to or not?
I'm going to forget doing all of that. And you know how long that takes editing, sweet. So people can hear that word and they can look at it for themselves. Last thing, how about a modular shelter? Worldwide, this is from $50,000. We'll finish on this one. A number of potentially life-saving options can be snapped up to for an additional charge. These include camera surveillance, shortwave radios, solar panels, and last but not least, multiple radiation detectors.
Ooh.
All yours for $50,000.
I'll take 3.
Great.
Cool.
Good.
Because the zombies are coming.
Yeah, I don't think that's their concern is zombies.
No.
Good.
This has been the Spaghetti Junction podcast.
Slow break. Okay then. We had one more subscriber recently. So
cool.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the family.
Number 47, we love you too.
Nice.
Love you too.
So almost at 50.
Come on.
Nice.
Maybe before I go, we'll hit 50.
Awesome. We will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff.
You know what? That's a great idea. And
Glad I thought of it.
thank you. It's a beautiful thing you did. Have a nice one.
Cheers, guys. Catch you in the next one.
Great. Bye.